All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where you from for the people that might not already know?
Hi Josh, I'm Ricky from Newcastle, England. Well,
Ricky.
it's County Durham, really. It's near Newcastle, but most people know where Newcastle is.
Okay,
Um, and I'm County Durham, just right next to Newcastle.
I know that's right. And look, the first one, what I think it's going with like 60, 70,000 views. The first episode that we did on over here.
Yeah, had about 60,000 views. All right.
Yeah, man. Man, that's amazing. Just to know that I'm having people from other countries get a lot of views too. How's everything been going with you since then? Have you been progressing, moving forward in the social media realm, or what?
Yeah, everything's moving forward. I've just been busy, flat out working with my gym and stuff. But my YouTube channel has grown every week. I'm up to nearly 5,000 subscribers. It's took a lot just to get it just up to there, but it's coming up because I've got there. Obviously, I've got prison stories on
I
all the
mean,
time.
I mean, 5,000 just in the time. That's quite a bit. I mean, some people exceed faster. Some people, it's
Yeah,
very hard just to get to 1,000. You know what I mean?
it is.
So you're
First
moving.
thousand the
You're
hardest.
going in the right direction. I could see that from a mile away, man. I mean, you got the charisma, man. You got the character. You know what I mean? You got the look, and
Yeah.
for some reason, when I think of like English, convicts or something along those lines,
Yeah.
you are pretty much the image of what I would probably think. I don't know if you can take it like that. That's just how
Yeah.
So it
Big
fit.
time looking dog.
Yeah, so I think you are perfect for this, man. I hate to say it like
Yeah.
that, I mean, in a good way, but that's
Yeah.
good to hear. You done any recent interviews, anybody or anything like that?
I've just done one with Sean Atwood, which was
Hmm.
released about a week ago,
Yeah,
and that's had nearly 40,000 views in a week.
yeah, yeah. And
So
man, I can't wait to hear his story one day. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Atwood, if you want to go check out his story over there, go check it out. Uh, he's a good interviewer as well. But man, that's cool that you're getting around, telling your story and
getting
and and
about eye.
working your program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell the people a little bit what exactly sent you to prison, man. That might not have heard your story on the first run. Give them a quick rundown.
Well, I got sentenced there to IPP when I was 20-year-old, which is the same as a life sentence, which is 99 years. Well, what that means is you get a recommendation, you've got to serve an amount of time before you get a parole hearing. So I served 5 years, but that 99 years still carries on. So I'm still on life license out in the community, like probation. And after about 10 years, I got recalled back to prison. And I've been back out about 18 months now. And since I've been out, I've had my book published and everything, which is that one there, Behind the Bars, Ruthless Fitness.
Badass looking
It's
book.
on Amazon. It's available in every country in the world now. And it's actually getting as far as Australia. There's people have been reaching out to us from Australia, from in a prison over in Australia, sent us a picture with the book inside of a cell.
Oh,
So we,
they probably wouldn't even let us have your book in some prisons out here. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. That's honestly, I envy you in a way, man, because and anyone that's written a book, because I would love to do that, man. Just I just ain't got the time or really pursued it, but that is one hell of an accomplishment, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just getting a book out there, and that's something you leave behind. And dad had a
yeah,
book. I don't give a
exactly.
damn what he did. He had a book. He did something. Would you say there's been any situations that you've been tested with out here in the streets, that could have went a certain way?
Not since I've been back out because obviously I've got my head screwed on now,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't. Before I went back in this time, I was back in a negative mindset, like in a bad way. But since I've come back out, I've changed my mindset. I'm in a positive mindset now, so I keep away from situations that I know will land me back in prison because obviously I've got a wife and 4 young kids to think about.
Yeah,
So they're my first priority now. So anything where I think I could get into trouble, I think of them, and that's me.
yeah, yeah. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you still might not have gotten used to?
Yeah, I'm getting used to everything, really. To be honest, I've adapted quite well since I got back out. I've got my own gymnasium now as well, so I'm seeing people every day. I'm doing different classes in the gym,
Yeah,
so things are going well on that front.
yeah. One thing that I brought back from prison was my sleep schedule, man. Is that something that you might have brought back with you as well?
I was still in the same routine. Say, I've always kept the same routine for the past, well, since I went in for the first time, like you say, when I was 20. So I've kept that same routine where I'm in a structure where I get up early in the morning and I stay up throughout the day and go to bed early on at night time. I'm asleep by 10 o'clock at night and up at
Yeah,
5 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much how I am, man. Well, let's jump into the prison side of things. I mean, you've seen some dangerous
Yeah.
prisons, right?
Yeah, I've seen some dangerous stuff in prison, some serious stuff.
Well, which prison do you think is the most memorable to you when it comes to maybe violence or something
The
that people
most,
that they don't want to
yeah,
go to, you know?
it's the one there not far from where I live. It's one of the high security prisons, which is maximum security prison. Say in England, there's only 5 maximum security prisons, 5 dispersals, which is the big jails. And one of them is obviously up here. And this is one I landed in when I was 21-year-old.
Was there anything that you did wrong when you were in there that you learned quickly not to do again? 'Cause-
Say I always had my head screwed on like that, so I knew straight away because I grew up learning from my dad, because my dad had spent a lot of time in prison, how
yeah.
to conduct yourself whilst you're in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see a lot of people getting into trouble over drug debts, where
Yeah.
people are taking drugs, because drugs are readily available in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people on the outside don't take drugs. They go into prison and then they start taking drugs just to cope with the prison.
Yeah.
But some of them, when they can't pay the debts, they can't repay the money back that they've took for taking the drugs.
Yeah.
That's one of the things people shouldn't do, because it's going to come back on you. You've got nowhere to run when you're stuck in prison.
Yeah. But do you think there's you seen someone get attacked for something very little?
I've seen people getting attacked over a biscuit.
A damn biscuit, huh? I can see that.
Yeah.
Them
What happened
biscuits
was,
probably good in England too. I bet them damn England biscuits good.
a nice chocolate biscuit.
No, y'all get chocolate biscuits?
What happened was we're all in the dinner queue waiting to get with dinner, and the lad he was actually in front of me in the queue, and he had his tray like that, and the lads that were giving the biscuits out were purposely not putting the biscuit on, so if somebody missed the biscuit, the person serving them out would put it in his pocket, he'd have an extra biscuit. So this lad walked past with his tray, and he said, "Here, you haven't given us me biscuit." And the bloke shouts back at him, he says, "You've already had your biscuit." So they're arguing over the
Oh,
biscuit.
yeah.
When the guy picks you get a flask as you're walking through to get hot water for your cups of tea.
Uh-huh.
He's just screwed the lid off the flask and just chucked it straight in his face and burnt his face with the boiling water because he wouldn't give him the biscuit.
Damn. What would happen to? Okay, so what happened to it? Like, what would happen to someone like that if the guard seen it?
See, what happens is something like that. They get dragged down segregation unit, and you get outside charges. So you've got to get an outside magistrate from the courts to give you an extra sentence on top of your sentence that you're already serving.
Yeah. Okay, tell me this: where's Bronson guy at, man? Would he be in the prison that
Bronson,
you were in?
he's been in the prisons that I was in, but not at the same time as me.
Really?
And he's actually, I think he might be still in Wakefield in the segregation. He's been in the block for over 10 years now, 20 years.
Have you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie,
What
but a
you
lot
think?
of my friends,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of my friends are actually friends with him, because they are the friends that I was with in Franklin. My friends used to be on the same wing as him, and but the guy's 70-year-old now,
Yeah, he's old.
and he's done nearly 50 years in prison,
Yeah,
but they still won't let him out.
Yeah, I hear he's
He's
going
got
for
a
parole or something.
he's got a parole hearing coming up, yeah, but he's still category A, like a maximum security prisoner.
I think he might get it, man.
Hopefully, I've got a date soon for me public parole hearing. I'm the first man in Britain to have a public one. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to expose the system for what it's done to me. I bet you can't believe I'm still in, can you? I'm 70 years old now, Martin. 70 years old. I've never murdered anyone. I've never raped anyone. What am I in jail for? People don't believe it. They think I'm a serial killer. Anyway, it's all coming out in the wash. My side of the story. And the truth is, it's going to shock the planet. Absolute shock the planet.
What do you think? How do the people out there look at a movie like that? Do you think that? I mean, that's insane to be a convict, and they make a massive motion picture that just blew up in America as well. You know, that's crazy. For a convict.
See, like Bronson is the biggest, most notorious prisoner in our country, but the media have blown it up a lot as well.
Yeah.
But I have heard some stories of some of the lads that he did whilst he was in prison, whilst he was on the wings, normal location. He was just attacking the screws, and there was a one time when a governor came on the wing, and he's ran down the wing and picked the governor up on his shoulder, and he's running around the wing with the governor.
Okay, so hold on. Okay. So the governor, is that like the warden? Or is that just
the head of the prison?
Oh, wow, man, that's crazy. So
the Bronson's picked him up on his shoulders, and he's running down the landing with him, giggling his head off, and this fucking governor's squealing, put us down.
He's a legend, man. I mean, so he's like a legendary kind of guy, even within prison.
Oh, he's a legend within the prisons. I told you, you can't take that away from the bloke, but he's there. He's brought a lot of it on himself.
That's wild, man. Yeah. I mean, if the movie's anything like it is, and yeah, he was wild, man, at one point, I'm sure, yeah. Where do you think a guy like him would be housed at? I haven't even read anything on it, if they even say anything. You think he's on max lockdown or something like that? 70 years old? I wouldn't see that, right?
We see what it is now. He's in the segregation, which is called the block, where he's just in a room by himself for 23 hours a day, out the way of the rest of the prison.
Really?
Because they won't put him on normal location.
How long has he been on lock like that, you think?
I think it's going to be well into nearly 20 years like that, but he spent most of his prison like that, but he spent over 20 years in solitary.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy, honest.
I mean, what do you think it's just because he could be a nuisance to the staff and the stuff that he's done, or do you think it's because he's kind of like a shot caller within the system?
I think what it is, because he's done that much stuff over the years to the screws and that as well. He's attacked the guards. This is their sort of revenge on him by fucking him up like this, not letting him on normal location and not letting him progress.
Yeah.
Because he's a Cat A prisoner, you've got to be downgraded like category C and then D before you get released. So that's why he won't get out on his parole.
Yeah, I don't know then. If they won't even let him out in the general population, man, I don't think they would just throw him to the streets, That'd be...
No.
Damn. Well, I wish him the best of luck, and his loved ones, hopefully. Yeah, all his friends and loved ones, man, hopefully, he gets on out of there. Because he is getting older, and there's convicts out here, going through the same stuff in America, man. They've been down since they're, very young, and they've been, in a damn side pocket forever, so...
But see, he's never killed anybody. He's never raped anybody.
I was about to ask that. Has he killed anybody or anything crazy like that?
Never killed anybody. He was originally doing his sentence for armed robbery, but he got, I think he got a life sentence. Well, he got a life sentence. It's the same sentence as what I got, sort of thing. So, that's the difference. If I didn't behave myself like I'm like a Bronson type,
you'd still be up in there, just like that.
You'd still be in there. You won't get out. But because of the way he is, he can't behave himself, and he's anti-authority, and that's why they won't let him out. Even though he's not a danger, he'll not be a danger to anybody out here in the public, because they're not letting him progress, and he's not, obviously still a bit anti-authority. They won't let him out.
Well, let's jump back into the prison system for a second, man. How are the guards out there? Out here, I mean, drugs come in through many different ways. Anything, contraband, not just drugs, just contraband. COs bring it in a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Do the COs interact with inmates out there like they would do over here? And maybe the inmate might persuade them to work for the dark side. Is it like that in England?
Oh, definitely. It's exactly the same as what it'll be over there. Like I say, it's different in the different prisons, like in the high security prisons. The guards, you can get on with them a lot better in them prisons. Whereas in the prisons where they're lower categories, like the medium and the lower security, they talk to some of the cons like dogs. Like the way they talk to you, they talk to not everybody, but they talk to some of them like dogs, and they wonder why things happen. But there is some of them, because they've just started into the prison system, they're only on a shit wage. Like they are bringing stuff in for the prisoners, bringing phones in, bringing contraband.
Yeah. Well, what about, is there, I've never even asked this question before, or even recognized it in documentaries. Is there mixed staff? Is it male and female correctional officers working in the prison?
Yeah, it's both male and female.
Okay. Is there ever times where, I'm sure there is, inmates have relationships with guards too, stuff like that happens, I'm guessing?
Oh, definitely. I remember when I was in Franklin, there was a Colombian lad.
Oh, okay.
He was obviously from Colombia. He was in for importing drugs into the country.
Mm-hmm.
He was obviously a millionaire. I think he was doing a 25-year sentence. And in his last prison, him and one of the officers actually fell in love. And she got found out, so she got sacked from her job. And she was still coming in to visit him. So on the visits in Franklin, he actually stuck it up his girlfriend on the visit. And she was an ex-guard, so she's getting shafted on the visit.
Oh shit! So they do it on visits too.
He actually done it in front of everybody with the wives, like the families and all that. Like he was.
There has to be a trick to it, man. It has to be.
I'll tell you how he done it. He had his girlfriend, he had his baby in the pram, and she was pretending that she was staying to the baby. And he sat behind her and lifted her skirt up like that and just fucking stuck in her while she pretended to say to the baby.
Was there really a baby there?
There was a baby there.
God!
It was.
Oh, she gotta get it how you get it, huh? I'm sure it was his kid.
He got her pregnant in the last prison.
Oh my God!
She got sacked from her job. And she was on the visits in Franklin, and that's when. So I remember turning around and I was like, fucking hell, you could have hit yourself.
That is what we call prison baby for sure, man. Everything about everything in that family is prison. Yeah.
So Franklin's a place where the majority of my stories, what I put on my channel, is from inside Franklin.
Yeah.
Because there's some crazy shit went on in there. The last video that I've just done that I put on my channel was when a paedophile got disemboweled in the prison.
Disemboweled.
They actually took
his intestines out. I'll tell you the
story. This happened on the paedophile wings. You see, you've got like in Franklin, you had 5 wings down the bottom for the predators, like the sex offenders, and then you had 2 main location wings at the top. But it was a paedophile that got disemboweled. He was in for raping a 13-year-old girl. And these 2 other guys that were on the same wing as him, one of them was in for breaking into a care home during the night and murdered 2 old women in the beds.
Oh.
And then the other guy was he was in a psychiatric ward, and he tried to murder the person in the bed next to him. So these all got put in the same prison and the same wing together. But the two ones that were in for the murder got together and said that they wanted to get someone on the wing and disembowel him and eat his liver. They both had the same fantasies, so they decided this one day that they were going to act on their fantasy.
Oh
So
shit!
they got the paedophile into the cell with them, and they shut the door behind them. Got him in a headlock like that and dragged him into the corner, and the other one grabbed his legs at the bottom so he couldn't move. And they were trying to squeeze the life out of him, trying to choke him to death, but he was still wiggling around. So they stabbed his eye out and then cut his throat and kept a hold of him until he bled out. So one had his legs and the other one had his head, and he bled out on the floor. Then they hacked his stomach open, pulled all of his intestines out, and they were just about to eat his liver, but they bottled it at the end.
But what happened?
They pulled his liver out and they were going to eat it, but they decided not to at the end. And they walked out onto the land and covered in blood and said to the guards, "We've just killed someone in our park."
It was probably a nasty looking liver, man. That's a crazy one, man. I think we could wrap it up right there. I mean,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear more about his prison ride and his experience, where can they find you, man? Tell them all the avenues.
Yeah, if you come onto my YouTube channel, it's Behind the Bars Ruthless Fitness. It's exactly the same name as my book. But all my videos about my past experiences in prison is on my channel. And my book's available to buy from Amazon. So that's where it's at, yeah.
I'm going to keep everything linked and pinned in the comment section and description of the video for y'all to check out, man. And, I mean, you can't, you hear story, I've heard so many stories and they're gruesome. That was probably one of the more gruesomer ones, you know what I mean, that I've heard in a long time. So England gets down for sure, for anybody that thinks it's just what did it say? What's tea and scrumpets? Is it scrumpets?
Crumpets.
Is it crumpets or scrumpets?
Crumpets.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong my whole life.